Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just get into this other hive and show you guys what this one's all about. This is probably my best producing hive this year. I've pulled 3 supers of honey off of it. Roughly about 35-40 pounds each. So I would say it's about 105 to 120 pounds of honey I pulled off of this hive this year. It's pretty incredible, to be honest with you, to think about it. Whenever you think there's 10 frames in here in this box, and you can see it's I don't know, that's 9 inches from my pinky to the thumb, so it's probably about 7.5, 8 inch deep box with 10 frames, which is just kind of incredible to think that they can pack that much honey away in there. And more so than that, how many bees it takes to go and get the nectar and then fan it down and actually create honey. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get inside this box and show you guys really the guts of this, because it's truly an incredible thing, and I think we should take more pride in understanding of what happens around us. You know, some people may not get this or understand that, but that's okay. This is somewhat of a purpose of what this is for. It's all full circle. Everything we do and think and dream that can happen, it is almost at the basis of is this. You know, you have honeybees. And that sounds so silly, somewhat. I'm actually looking for my hive tool. It may be in my pocket, and it is. So I'm gonna pop this top off, but it's just something to think about. It's just incredible how God intended for everything to work together, how it does. And there's people that will argue that, but it's just something to behold. So here, I'm gonna pop this top and just show you what this looks like inside. So what I have is a bunch of bees that are making some honey in a layman's terms. I'll set this inner cover right there, and I'm actually gonna put my phone right up against that just to stand here and be able to talk a little bit better freely. And I'll be real quick here and pull one of these central frames off of this top honey super. So typically this top super is something that shouldn't have the most honey in it, considering that they build it, they pack it in from the bottom up. And this is the 3rd box in my super, or in this hive, the 3rd super of the hive rather. And they really are just doing work. It's incredible to see how incredible these little girls are. There, I just got stung. It finally happened. One got me right on the finger right there. She's still stinging me. I need to actually get that out of there. But so there's a fine example. Bees will sting you. That's what they do. They're supposed to conserve. So here you go. You can see some capped honey on this corner up here, and then as we go on the other side, they haven't even quite drawn this out yet. You can see some nectar in there. It's brown, looks like root beer almost. Right in here, some nectar that they're fanning down. And then on this side, it's actually capped out, which is kind of cool. But hopefully in the meantime, they'll work on drawing these frames out and filling them. I'm just gonna drop this guy back in here. And we're gonna pop this box off and we'll see what the next super down looks like. So what I did, actually, I extracted a box of honey off of these guys, or girls rather, and I took that frame of, or the box of frames that was drawn comb that I pulled the honey off of, and I just set them on my back porch for about 2 days, and just let all my hives kind of come in, gather, take all the honey, whatever they needed. And the majority of that reasoning was just for them to clean things up, so that I have a clean honey super of just drawn comb that the bees can work from the field. Whatever's flowing right now, whatever nectar they can bring in, they'll bring in and backfill. So that's actually what we're going to get into now. I'm kind of curious because it's only been about 4 days now, 4 or 5 days since I put this extracted super on here, and I'm just curious to see how much they've worked in that time frame. So we'll just do a little bit of learning together here. Hopefully we can refrain from getting stung again too many times, because those fingers are, dogs. They're tender. It's very tender, especially getting stung right on the knuckle like that. Man, it kind of aggravates me a little bit, to be honest with you. So we're gonna see here. This is again, this is a frame of super rather that I extracted about 4 or 5 days ago, and I'm just kind of curious to see. I don't expect too much nectar being brought in, but I am curious to see how much they clean the frames up and made them workable again. And I'm not sure if you can really tell from this camera, but these are just absolutely beautiful, super clean. Just look how perfect those are. Just hexagons everywhere. The bees are the best use of space in the world. Look at that. That's about, I'd say about 3/8 inch drawn out honeycomb. And they're gonna start backfilling this as soon as we get some nectar flowing again. That's just incredible to me. And hopefully someone out there finds it equally as impressive, because no one's out here with an instruction manual or telling these girls what to do. They know how to do it. And to me, it just absolutely blows my mind. Every time I get into these hives, I find something about these bees that it just, I wish we could communicate between each other, but I'm not going to get into the brood chamber on this hive. I'm going to pull this box because they have a pretty fair honey super below this one. I just want to show you all what that looks like. Show you all the bee count in this hive, because these girls are probably pushing, I'd say there's probably about 30,000 girls in this or in this colony here. Here's another honey super. I got a deep brood chamber, and then a medium brood chamber, and then again, just like the hive over here on the previous video, they probably pushed up in here a little bit, and there's probably some brood in these middle frames, in the middle bottom of these frames. What I'm going to do is actually I'll pull the 4th frame from the outside. That should show us what we need to see as far as if there is brood in the middle, and if there's not, then I'll just go ahead and pull the middle 5th frame from the right side too. But there are a good number of bees right here, for lack of better terms. So I am somewhat anticipating to find some brood in here towards probably the bottom third of this frame. And again, if there is, that's great. But we'll just see what happens. So it looks like to me it's just being actually backfilled with nectar, which is not a bad thing. You can see a good bit of nectar in the middle there, dark. But that's a good bee frame. A lot of workers there, a lot of good girls. I'm gonna set this one to the side and just pull the one in the middle. And as I was actually looking at this hive, I realized I have a queen excluder below this medium super, so there's not gonna be any brood in here whatsoever. Mostly, it's actually all gonna be nectar and capped honey. So you can see here again, they're working on nectar. It's all it is, just a nectar frame, and that's great. That's just a great sign to see. You can see it's getting a little bit darker color to it, but there's good bee numbers, and they're in there just drying it out. And I think we've got a lot of good things to look forward to here. So I hope you all have a great day, and I'm gonna cut this video out right here. All I'm gonna do is put a frame back in, drop this box back on, get them closed up, and actually gonna fix and be cutting some grass here shortly. So it's a beautiful day, and I hope you all are able to enjoy it. Take care.